So many people have asked me over the last few months, so why are you driving for Lyft and Uber? And like anything else, I have my reasons. I can tell you one reason: it's not money. One of the big problems that many drivers face, and there are thousands of drivers in this boat, it's not enough pay. It's very low. You're getting paid based on mileage, based on time, but you really don't know what it could be.
I was a huge Lyft supporter. That's why I've only driven for Lyft, right? Because Uber was the bad one, Lyft was the good one to drivers. But over the years, it's just gotten worse and worse and worse. I looked at my rides yesterday, and on average, Lyft was taking out 43 to 48% of every ride.
That's been one of the big areas of concern. So it was never about money. And the other thing that I thought about was the fascination. When you're looking at Uber and Lyft and rideshare, it's a tech revolution. It's on the cutting edge of the tech revolution. In this case, dealing with transportation, a new way to get people around. You have an app, punch it up, boom. You pick someone up. So you're riding, you're sharing a ride. Historically, you had taxis, people took that. But then somebody got the bright idea, the somebody in this case, the CEOs of Uber and Lyft, smart guys up in Silicon Valley, young guys, said, hey, let's get on the tail of the tech revolution and use that for transportation.
How do you feel about drivers who really are your customer representatives? It's very complex. It's actually a very unusual situation, because even during this whole, what seemed like a crisis over the summer, I remember having a conversation with a friend about talking about this is one of the few businesses where the customer-facing element is actually doesn't technically work for the company. How do you feel about them more and more driving for Lyft? How do you actually create there's the culture at headquarters, but how do you create a culture to the extent you care about that? How do you even do that?
Well, listen, one of the core elements of our service is that you get to be your own boss. You get to do whatever you want. So would I rather not have them drive for Lyft? Sure, but actually part of the service is that you get to drive for Lyft, or you get to drive for us, and you get to not drive if you don't want. That said, the company has definitely recognized that the driver is probably the most important element of the actual consumer experience. If we've got happy drivers, then our consumers are in cars, they're treated well, etc. So we have been on a program, a significant program, to consistently improve the driver's experience. We introduced tipping earlier this year. We've changed kind of how much drivers get paid for wait times, to the extent that a driver has to travel a very long distance and then gets canceled on at the last minute. We've adjusted the cancellation fee for those kinds of elements. So we've very programmatically gone through the driver experience. And if you look at the driver sentiment as it relates to Uber, it has been increasing dramatically over the past, I would say, 3 to 5 months. So it's working, they're hearing us, and they are a very, very important constituency for us, and we're going to pay a lot of attention to them.
Drivers are responsible for virtually everything that can go wrong in this job. Car repairs, insurance, gas costs. You know, we can lose our job in a minute. Every day when I go out, I drive in fear that somebody's going to hit me, that I'm going to get deactivated, that I'm not going to be able to feed my children this week, that I'm not going to be able to pay my rent. I'm not okay with that.
Uber and Lyft essentially tell you how much you're going to get paid, when you can work, where you can work, and how you can work. That's not an independent contractor, that's an employee. So that's where the big battle is coming in now. The other thing is there's no union. So we don't have the basic labor protections, unemployment, health care, and all the other benefits that go with standard labor protections. So we're basically at the mercy of a company.
Uber, the $68 billion tech company, has been a pioneer in the sharing economy and responsible for launching an entire industry. Ride-sharing has become one of the most convenient modes of transportation in the world, especially in places like Los Angeles, where trains, buses, and cabs haven't been able to keep up with the times. Uber Technologies, on the other hand, provides a smartphone application that connects drivers with people who need rides. This business model is how Uber makes its money. It allows the company to keep labor costs low because drivers are classified as independent contractors rather than employees. But as contractors, drivers are responsible for their own gas, all costs associated with the wear and tear of their vehicles, and they aren't eligible to receive benefits. Which is why 385,000 Uber drivers had sued the company, bringing forward class action lawsuits in California and Massachusetts.
It's almost impossible, unlike a union shop when you're working in, say, an industry where workers are close together and there's a commonality there. It's so spread out, so diverse and dispersed. It's very, very difficult to really organize all those tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of drivers.
It's not a wealth gap. With big tech, they're talking millions and billions of dollars that's going to be made this week. And compared to their drivers, who they have a relationship of worker exploitation with. We have no voice in our work. We have no benefits whatsoever. We have no minimum wage. No amount is too small. And we lose money the minute we go out the door.
So we have a rating system. Uber, I should say, and Lyft have a rating system. They rate the drivers. They tell you, you're a passenger. So if you notice at the end, they ask you what you think, how you rate the driver. So they have a 5-star, 1-star, 2-star, 3-star, 4-star, 5 stars. 5 stars obviously are top. The driver gives excellent service. But suppose somebody's got a bad attitude, vindictive, a racist, a sexist, ageist, or just a hateful person. You may give the best ride in the world, the most courteous service in the world, and that hateful person could put 1 star, boom, it blows everything.
I usually try to make sure that I rate my drivers because I know that Lyft and Uber take those ratings very seriously, and in order for them to keep their rideshare job, that they need to have good ratings. So I usually try to make sure I give a good rating at the end of my ride.
Lyft and Uber pay attention to those ratings. You'll know about that, and they can deactivate you, i.e. fire you.
What do you think about people making billions and your situation being what it is?
Drivers are not making nothing. Without driver, this company don't exist.
Uber tells ABC News, drivers are at the heart of our service. We can't succeed without them. Thousands of people come into work at Uber every day focused on how to make their experience better on and off the road.
Sorry.
The CEOs of Uber and Lyft, they're making like bandits. In 2017, the CEO of Uber bagged $42.5 million. Not bad. The CEO of Lyft, another $35 million. Not bad. Drivers everywhere need to have a voice. They need to see this because you have a lot of people that really do, despite what Uber and Lyft say in their stats, a lot of people do depend on this for their livelihood. Puts bread on the table, puts food on the table, pays the rent, puts clothes on their and their kids' back, and their significant others or wives or husbands. So all of these things taken together, I think there's a story here, and it's a story that I intend to tell.